Arsenal, Tottenham in the North London derby, the LND, I guess. That's what they call it.
The NLD.
The NLD. And Arsenal at the Emirates comes away with the 3-1 win. Theo, let's get it started. You're the winning side this week. How did Arsenal do it?
I honestly think it was our setup. We're just gonna straight into it. I said on the last podcast that I think Saka is a much better right wing than Pepe. I think Pepe fits in the squad somehow, but I think Saka fits better on the right. I think we played our best squad today, and I honestly think that Arteta got it right, and I'll keep that there for now. But I think Arteta got it right.
Jason, what the hell happened to Tottenham, mate?
For those of you watching this on YouTube or TikTok, you'll notice that I'm wearing all black. There was a death today. There was a death today at the Emirates. And the death was the pride of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. That was the most embarrassing, gutless, toothless performance I've ever seen from any football club ever. We are Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. We deserve a better performance from that. And it's the same players every year. Every year. That team we played today, we could have played last year. We could have played the year before. None of our new signings were in the lineup. What are we doing on the recruitment side? Nothing new. It's the same old stuff. And Nuno, what the hell are you doing? This club is too big for you, Nuno. You don't deserve this job. You should not be in there. You are our 12th choice, and you need to be out of our club. I have never been so embarrassed in my whole life than watching that game this morning. That was awful. I took my shirt off after the first 30 minutes. I was wearing my Tottenham shirt. I took it off. That does not deserve to be on my skin. I'm not wearing it tonight. I usually try to when doing the podcast, but not tonight.
Hold on.
That doesn't deserve to be on my skin.
Hold on. But you were saying that Tottenham had a great start to the season, that they were doing so well, that Nuno had the right type of energy. He wasn't like Mourinho. What was his tactics today? Honestly, what was his tactics?
There were none.
There were none.
There were none. No, there were no tactics. And frankly, it wouldn't have even mattered if you had the best tactics out there because that team didn't care. It's a North London derby. This is the game that you show up for, the one game of the season that the players wake up and should give their all for the badge. But these players don't care. They don't care about the club. They don't care about the badge. They don't care about the fans. Harry Kane, you don't want to be here. Leave. I don't want you in my team anymore. It's embarrassing to see you play like that today. It's so embarrassing. Club captain, club legend, giving that type of performance in a North London derby. Head down after 5 minutes. Uninterested. Not pressing the ball down. Not finishing sitters. You had a wide open header off of a corner that you couldn't even put on target. You had a breakaway goal that you couldn't even put on target. What are you doing, Harry Kane? You're at this club. We raised you. We're the ones that made you. I understand you wanted to go to City. But what are you doing? It's a North London derby. It's a North London derby. And you can't even show up. You can't even finish your chances that I've seen you finish 1,000 times. Not even finish them. You can't even put them on target. What are you doing? You don't care. You don't care anymore. And I'm tired of seeing it. Nuno should not play you. Play Dane Scarlett. Play Heung-min Son up the center. I don't care. Harry Kane doesn't deserve to have our kid on anymore. He doesn't care. I'm over it. I'm so done.
Hold on. Right.
The only players in that whole lineup that gave any type of effort that I thought tried today were Heung-min Son and Lucas. The only two out there that were pressing, trying to get the ball. And Skip. Skip, when he came on at halftime, he put in effort. But the rest of those guys, they don't care. Heads were down after 5 minutes after that first goal. No one was fighting. No one was pressing down on the ball. That was awful.
This is what I got to say. I got to be honest with you. I saw this coming from Tottenham's perspective. Not that they were going to lose to Arsenal.
No, you didn't. You said we were going to win 4-0 last week on the podcast.
Let's go, Jason. Call him out.
Don't see you
let me finish. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. I was about to get to say I saw this coming in terms of Spurs' demise. I thought they were going to beat Arsenal. I was wrong. You let me finish my sentence. Thank you. What I was going to say is that Nuno is not the coach. And I've been saying this from day one. I said that he's not good enough. I've been saying that he doesn't have the tactics. I said the first 3 games, they got lucky. They scraped away with 1-0 wins in each of those games. And this is what I got to say. Y'all should have sold Harry Kane. It started in the summer. If your best player doesn't want to be there, tell him, okay, we're going to sell you. You don't want to be part of this club? All right, go screw yourself. We're going to get the most money for you. See you later. Julian Laurent from ESPN FC said that they put in a bid of $150 million or 150 million pounds for Harry Kane. Manchester City put in this money. Why wouldn't you accept it? You obviously know he's not happy. You know he's not happy. You know he doesn't want to be here. He held out of preseason. He didn't want to be there. He started the season late. He's not contributing. His heart's not in it. Why would you keep a player that doesn't want to be there? That's my first question. That's on Daniel Levy. That's on Fabio Paratici, whatever the hell you want to call him, Nuno. That's your fault. I don't care if he's the best player of the club. If he doesn't want to be there, it just does a whole bunch of bad. Yeah, the season started great. Yeah, you beat City. Okay, whatever. Y'all won a bunch of games. Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez look like Nemanja Vidic. Hell no. They trash, bro. They're going to revert to the mean. I think this is a shambles from Tottenham for keeping Harry Kane. It all starts with him. If your best player wants out and you want to keep him and hold him hostage and expect $150 million, that's your fault. And now look at him. This guy's not even worth a bag of crisps, Nate. He's not even worth a bag of crisps. And I got to say this. Arsenal literally started after the first international break with 0 points. Y'all were top of the league. Now it's reversed, mate. They're on top of y'all. They're on top of y'all. And they literally said, you know what, Tottenham? We're going to show you up today. I don't even think Mikel Arteta can manage a McDonald's, mate. But today, I got to give him his credit. He really put up a good performance. He set the team up correctly, finally. But I got to say this, Theo, and I want you to answer this for me. How good does Arsenal look with Tomiyasu and Gabriel? I think they're 2 most important players in the team.
Gabriel makes such a difference.
He makes a huge difference in that Arsenal
fantastic. I think when we first bought Ben White, everyone was saying, most analysts who weren't criticizing the transfer fee were saying that he's protected by Dunk and the other center back at Brighton, who are both 6'7", 300 pounds. These big center backs who can protect Ben White because he's not the biggest, he's not the most the biggest physical presence. Gabriel does that so well. And I didn't think he would be able to do it in a back two, but he's doing well. I think Ben White played well today too.
But the quality of him and Tomiyasu
was great.
Incredible.
Tomiyasu was great. Defensively, he was really good. I think going forward, there's more to come, but I think defensively he's already been really good.
Let me ask you another question. I saw this game. I was really interested. Is this the best that we've seen of Thomas Partey in an Arsenal shirt?
Yeah, I think there's been other games where he's been really good. It's just we can't get him consistently. I think that Manchester United game last year, he played pretty well.
He was incredible, yeah.
He's been really good. When he can play consistently, he can get some games under his belt. But we know that as Arsenal fans, and it's just so rough and frustrating to see him get injured every couple of games.
He was never injury prone at Atletico.
No, his injury record was great. It was so great. But after he came back, once he came to Arsenal, he just started getting injured, and it wasn't going well for him. Hopefully, this next couple games, he can maintain some fitness and play really well, because that's what he can give us is that type of, I guess, what should I call it? Just variety in midfield. He can do so many things.
What did Mikel Arteta do correctly today that he hasn't done in the past? Was it more of Spurs playing really bad? Or was it Mikel Arteta setting up his team to actually play well?
The refs were awful.
I think the best a bit of both. I think the refs did get a couple things wrong.
What did they get wrong
for Tottenham? I think a lot of people wanted that penalty for Harry Kane.
The penalty and then your second goal shouldn't have been a goal because Højbjerg was literally fouled, and that was in the lead up to
Højbjerg. I saw that. I didn't think that was a foul just because it didn't look.
Xhaka's foul and half our team didn't even get booked.
It didn't look
Skip
that.
puts in one tackle and gets a yellow in the second half.
That's true. That was a hard tackle. That one worried me because I thought Partey was going to get injured again. The penalty could have been a penalty, and then that foul. I don't think really was a foul. Didn't take too long, but honestly, VAR's been doing well, kind of making their decisions quickly. We did get the benefit of the doubt when it came to some of the calls. But also, I think it was a little bit of both. Spurs didn't play too well. Nuno tried to sit back and soak up pressure. I don't know why he didn't try to press like he did against Chelsea. I think after that Chelsea game, he saw that they could get caught out pressing, and also they got a bit tired kind of in the second half of that Chelsea game. Yeah. But I think Arteta got it right playing playing the kids in that 3 behind Aubameyang. I was surprised Aubameyang started, but I'm happy he did. And I'm really happy that Smith Rowe played on the left, Odegaard played in the middle, and Saka played on the right, because I think that's our best 3 behind Aubameyang.
You know, I want to hop in and like touch on something that you said.
Yeah.
Tottenham were so great against Chelsea in that first 30 minutes being able to press them. I was absolutely shocked when they sat back to try to play on the counter in a North London derby where it's all action. It's all go. You know, Tottenham has been so much better than Arsenal in the past couple of years, and I think that we can admit this. But what I will say is this. Nuno Espirito Santo, what are you doing with the talent that you have? You have, in my opinion, I think Tottenham is better attacking talent. Right now. They have Harry Kane, they have Son, they have Lucas Moura. What are you doing trying to play on the counter, mate? Go and attack them. Go and press them. Go and show some creativity, mate. What are you doing? This is not Wolves. This is not you have like Fabio Silva and Jota. No. You have really good quality proven players. I know Harry Kane hasn't been playing well. He should have been sold. He was held hostage. Forget about it. You need to go and press and attack Arsenal. That's what Chelsea did when they went to the Emirates. That's what Man City did. They jumped all over him. Because Arsenal is not good at handling the pressure. I mean, obviously they have Ramsdale now, and they have Gabriel, and they have Ben White that have been playing a little bit. They're a little bit better, but they're still really fragile when it comes to playing out the back, when it comes to being pressured. I will give Mikel Arteta his credit today because you know what? He did a really good job. He gave a really good tactical setup, and he also had the team excited to play. It looked like Spurs weren't even ready for a North London derby. It looked like they were playing Stoke City in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the first 2 games, Man City and Chelsea, were always going to be tough because it's Man City and Chelsea.
But they took the initiative. Even Chelsea took the initiative.
Chelsea took the initiative for like 30 minutes, and then they kind of chilled. And their initiative was much different than Man City's pressing. But also they did press, and they did push us back a little bit. We missed a lot of players for both of those games that we pretty much needed. But I think I also want to highlight Ramsdale. Ramsdale was really good. He's been really commanding for these past 3-4 games.
Second save, the save in the second half that could have made it 3-2.
Yeah,
what a save!
That was really big.
What a save!
And I also think that he got a lot of he got discredited a lot because he's been relegated twice.
In a row.
No one really knew what Ramsdale was like as a player. Just that he got relegated twice. No one really cared to look into it. They were just like, Arsenal's paying 30-40 million for Ramsdale, who got relegated twice. No one really cared to like see him out and watch him play. I'm really happy he's doing well. But also, I don't know. I think after Tottenham went down 2-3-0, they started committing people forward. After the second goal, they started committing men forward. And right in the lead up to that third goal, Harry Kane came forward, and Tottenham had a bunch of people forward. Arsenal were on the counterattack. Saka had loads of space on the right wing. Reguilon was bombing forward. And then it was basically 3-on-2. Harry Kane got back, unlucky tackle, and it broke for Saka. But basically it was
Harry Kane, that was a terrible tackle.
That third goal, Tottenham just committed so many men forward, and there was so much space behind them. And I think Nuno was worried about that because that's happened in the past couple games against Palace and against Chelsea. And I'm really glad that Arteta kind of made the most of it. I'm really glad Saka played, and I worry that Pepe is not going to get back in the team for a while.
Yeah, Harry Kane was looking like the English Charlie Austin, man. Wasn't he, Jason?
The one thing I wanted to highlight is the recruitment from Tottenham has been shambolic. That going back to Pochettino's era, those 2 transfer windows where we didn't bring anyone in, that's what started the downfall of Tottenham. We decided to commit our money to a stadium rather than to the team. And it's annoying because we saw Arsenal do the same thing 15 years ago, and that's really what started their whole kind of downfall, that long, slow downfall that they've been on for the past 15 years. They committed a bunch of money into the Emirates instead of investing in their team. That team we play today, the only player that's been brought in over the past year or 2 was Tanganga.
Højbjerg.
And Højbjerg, 2 players. And Tanganga was in our academy.
Was Ndombele and Lo Celso the one before that?
And Ndombele, Lo Celso were bought in the season that Pochettino was sacked. Dele's been
Emerson?
there forever.
Oh yeah,
Emerson.
Well, that was this before
Emerson
this.
Brought in the second half, and we actually played better in the second half. But it's the same old players making the same old mistakes. That Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez. I've seen that back 2 for 4 years now. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. And when I compare it to Arsenal's lineup, I see Ramsdale, who they just brought in, who played great today. Tomiyasu, who they just brought in, played great today. Gabriel, who they brought in last year, played great. Ben White, who I don't think is very good, but, I mean, he played good today, brought in this past summer. Tierney, brought in last summer. The middle two, Xhaka's been there for a while, but Partey brought in last summer. They're 3 attacking guys. Odegaard signed permanent this summer, brought in last year.
Mate.
Saka, Smith Rowe, youth academy players that just brought through, and Aubameyang who's been there forever.
But you were saying that Davinson Sanchez and Eric Dyer were looking like Rio Ferdinand Mandivic, mate.
They were through 3 games. They were. But I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Why? And then it all comes down to recruitment. As I just said, I walked through the starting 11s. There was, 2 players I said from Arsenal that have been there for like an extended period of time, Xhaka and Aubameyang in the first team.
Yeah, I think Tierney's been there for 3 years. Not last summer, but the summer before. But
Okay.
it's still.
And then we look at Tottenham, and it's the same old team. It's the same old team. We can't get out of our mind that these players that performed as world-class players under Pochettino, speaking of Dele, Eric Dyer, who was very good under Pochettino, Davinson Sanchez, who was good for a long time under Pochettino, we can't get over the fact that these players just aren't good enough anymore. They are not good enough. We need to replace them. Dele, I think he's had a decent start, but he's not good enough to start in this team week in, week out. We need a number 10. Yori, I think he's been really good, but it's time for a new goalkeeper. We have Golini on the bench. Bring him in. We need someone more commanding. Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, we spent $55 million on Christian Romero this summer, and he's not in the lineup in the North London derby. What are we doing? Why are we spending this much money on a center back and not playing him in the most important game of the year? What are we doing? Emerson Royal, we just paid $30 million for him. This past window from Barcelona right back, and we're playing Tanganga. And I love Tanganga, but we paid money for Emerson, and he played well in the second half. What is Nuno doing with this team selection? What is our board doing? What is Daniel Levy doing with this recruitment? This recruitment obviously is not good enough because the manager doesn't want to choose these expensive players in our most important game of the year. And he relies on these players that make mistake after mistake after mistake. And it happens every year. I can't.
But this is what it all comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. What I will say is this. Daniel Levy, Fabio Paratici, Nuno, whoever else at Spurs that I don't really care about, y'all are shambolic, mate. Y'all should have sold Harry Kane for $150 million. Y'all are going to get a bag of crisps now. Y'all messed up. It's your fault. Y'all should have used that money and invested it in a Vlahovic. Y'all should have invested in another center back. I know y'all got Guti Romero, maybe a Tomiyasu.
I think it was too late. I think it was too late for them to invest. It was right at the end of the transfer window that Manchester City didn't meet the request until the very end of the transfer window.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Jules Laurent is not reliable.
Julian Laurent is very reliable.
He works for ESPN. All the reliable British sources. All the reliable British sources from Tottenham side and from City side said City did not put in an offer until the very last days of the window. We can't accept that. This is City, and I hate the narrative that's coming out of ESPN because Jules Laurent likes to suck off Pep Guardiola consistently. I listen to that. That's why I don't like ESPN.
He doesn't.
He likes to suck off City, but City effed us. I hate the narrative from the media. Oh, Daniel Levy this, Daniel Levy that. Like, I think Kane should have gone just because, but don't come here saying, oh, they offered $150 million. They could have invested in Vlahovic and all these other guys. These guys were off the market by the time that money would have came in because City dragged their feet. City dragged their feet the whole summer, and the narrative that they didn't is just wrong.
Let me ask you a question. If you know that you're going to get that Harry Kane money eventually because you knew that City were desperate.
We don't have the money for it.
You had all – yeah, but you guys could have had the money for it literally. Why wouldn't you do like Aston Villa did? They brought in all those players beforehand, and then they sold Jack Grealish.
I think just to weigh in, I think City knew that they were going to get Jack Grealish. They knew Aston Villa was much easier to deal with than Daniel Levy, so they went for Jack Grealish early in the window.
They still paid $100 million.
And
they still paid $100 million.
$100 million is a lot of money. Even for City, $100 million is a lot of money. So they're gonna get Jack Grealish, and then they're gonna wait on Harry Kane. They're gonna wait because they know Daniel Levy's gonna hold out. He's gonna hold out, and then at some point, they hope that Daniel Levy holds out, and then gives up $25 million. So he's going to sell Harry Kane for $125 million. That didn't happen.
That's more than you're going to get next summer. It is.
That didn't happen.
The way that he's playing is terrible.
They didn't
He
give
literally
him the
can't
bid.
finish anything. He
Your
can't even
argument-
finish his
Carlos,
food.
Carlos, your argument can't be we're going to allow this money now because next summer we're going to get less. In that moment, he was worth $150 million. I'm sorry. And we just can't. And he's a world-class player. We're going to bet that he's going to start playing well. I'm saying up to these first 6 games so far, he's been awful. He's been absolutely awful, and there's no way around it. Today, as I said, head down, not giving effort. Missed a couple chances that I've seen Harry Kane finish many times.
I think
don't
Harry
want to talk
Kane.
about Tottenham anymore.
Harry Kane
I'm
missed the
getting
2 big
angry.
chances.
I'm literally getting red in the face. I don't want to talk about Arsenal
Right before we move on,
or Tottenham anymore.
I just want to point out, to Chasen's point, 5 of these players in the starting 11 right now were key players. 5 of the starting 11 were key players in Pochettino's title chase in 2015, 2016. That was 6 years ago. There's not a single Arsenal player in the lineup.
Aw, bro. Y'all need to stop making these excuses.
What excuses?
Y'all should have sold him. You know it.
Oh my
Y'all
God,
should.
Carlos.
Yo,
It was never
stop.
gonna happen.
Carlos.
It was never gonna
Stop.
happen.
Harry Kane should have been sold. Whatever money y'all could have got could have been reinvested.
I agree.
His head's not in it. It literally poisoned the child list. The team doesn't care. No one cares. How the hell are you going to show up in a North London derby and not even give a single care in the world about that game? What a shame is it? That's the biggest game of the season. And you literally get slapped up by Arsenal, mate. By Arsenal, who literally lost to Brentford, who's in relegation form, mate. What a joke, mate.
Carlos,
What?
give me
No,
one
hold
second.
on. We'll talk about
Give me one
Brentford
second.
later.
No, I have to go touch the computer.
What a joke, mate. What a joke. You know, and that's what I need to say, mate. That's what I need to say. Arsenal have been shambolic. And you know what? They slapped y'all up. Y'all got slapped up 3-0 to Crystal Palace. Y'all got slapped up 3-0 to Chelsea. And if it wasn't for Son, y'all would have been slapped up 3-0 to Arsenal, mate.
Closing thoughts. I think it was a great win for Arsenal. I think they came out and did exactly what we needed them to do. David Ornstein had said, I think, in an interview with Sky or The Athletic, he said that Arteta could have a statement 3-0 win here that could really kickstart our season. I don't know if he was optimistic about that or if that was just his point. I saw predictions that Arsenal were going to win by big or that Tottenham were going to win big. It was unpredictable. It was a weird North London derby. I also was listening to a different podcast that said on one hand, this is kind of the least relevant North London derby we've had in a really long time. But at the same time, it's really important for both Arsenal and Tottenham because we're both kind of in limbo right now. And I think we'll be in limbo for probably this season and next season, trying to find our bearings. So I'm really glad we were able to kind of get this win, and I'm glad it was very resounding. I hope we don't sit back after we play really well and we soak up pressure because I can see that going wrong, but I think we did really, really well. So I'm happy.
I think Mikel Arteta, and my closing thoughts, went from managing McDonald's to managing like a hot topic. Maybe.
No, I'll give him in and out.
In and out, yeah.
Yeah, in and out's
Mikel Arteta, good win, good win.
Jason, thoughts?
Closing
Yeah.
thoughts.
I mean, this game, you touched on it, Theo, but this game was going to be like a reality check for one of these two teams. It was going to show what these teams truly are, what they're about. And I think what we learned today is that Arsenal has a vision. They have a connection between their players, their coach, or their manager, the board, and the fans. They have a true connection between all of them. And whether or not this team is actually good, we'll see. But they have a vision for the future, and they have a direction. And Tottenham is the complete opposite. Our players are not connected to the manager. The manager, it was a rush hire. He's for the short term. He is not part of the long-term plans. That's shown by the connection between him and the board. The board is new, doesn't have connection with the fans. Tottenham, frankly, is in shambles, and something needs to change. I don't know what it is, but Tottenham, those players need to have a meeting today with the manager when they get into training, and they need to hash it out because it's obvious that something isn't right at that club. Looking at it, it's obvious something isn't right within the club. The players aren't playing for the manager. They're not playing for the club. They're not playing for the fans. And you know what? The one thing I'll say about Arsenal, they lost their first 3 games of the season, frankly, in embarrassing fashion. But they bounced back after the break, and they've won 3 in a row. And those players, they cared about that game. They cared about the fans, the Arsenal players. They cared about the fans. They cared about where they play. Those players care about the badge, and they believe in the vision of Arsenal Football Club. Our players don't. And frankly, that's all it came down to. Your team just wanted it more. I don't think that the tactics really played much into it. I don't think that talent played much into it. In a North London derby, in any derby, it comes down to passion and which team wants it more. And today, it was obvious that Arsenal cared, and they wanted it, and Tottenham didn't. And that's it.
Arsenal fan favorite. Okay. We're done with this.
Cool. Let me change the battery.
We are done with this. We'll be right back.